Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the conference and celebration so far. I'm Stephen, this is Rahul, and this is Haley. And our presentation is about essentially a literary review, very infinitesimally small literary review and summary of a book called Reimagining Leadership on the Commons by Randy J. Thompson and his colleagues. Had the chapter about proleptic leadership.
Well, proleptic leadership is really about looking into the future and extracting future values and then integrating them into the present, which can really just pave the way for yourself, your community, and society as a whole.
All right, so what is proleptic leadership? Now we know, right? What makes a good proleptic leader or a leader in general is yet to be discovered. I'd like to inform you. So, Randy, the author, outlines 3 major steps a proleptic leader takes. So it starts with leading oneself. Before you can lead others, you have to lead yourself. And that comes with adjusting your mindset, seeing what kind of shortcomings you have, and seeing how you engage with the leadership process and how you talk to others. So he starts off with, you should exemplify these kinds of actions. And he outlines 4 major ones: reverencing, being, decommodifying, and eco-synergizing. So we start off with reverencing, and that's just treating others that you interact with respect and treating the environment you live in. Then we have weing, and that's building off of reverencing, recognizing that you as a person were made by all the people around you and everyone you interact with, essentially a culminating effort. That comes care for others and care for yourself. Then we go into commodifying and eco-synergizing, which go hand in hand. So decommodifying is just recognizing that not everything should have a price tag on it, and not everything needs to be per se. The eco-synergizing is just assessing your own impact on the living environment. Then we go into leading with your community. And this is where he really expands on leadership as we see it traditionally, but he makes it, rather than painting it as a role someone assumes, it's a process that a community takes part in. So he talks about a theory called global resonance, which is just the idea that people are connected mutually by wanting to see each other succeed and wanting to see each other do well. With that, things are shifted from an I perspective, me, what am I doing? How am I doing so well? And that shifts to a we perspective. What are we doing? What's going on with us? How can we help us? And so that paves the way for things like collaboration and self-government. And then we move on to leading society. And that's just basically a scaled up version of leading a small group. So now we're talking about things that demonstrate and exemplify what we want to see, what we want to grab from the future and bring into the present forcefully as we can. So then he talks about things like prefigurative politics, which is a very fancy term for demonstrating and prototyping that future through community organization, protesting, policy writing, and things that matter. That goes hand in hand with something else called creation, which is once again bridging the process of leadership shifting from a role someone assumes to a communal process. So that's having the tools of creation and change in everyone's hands so they can make a change towards.
So at the University of Windsor, we can see proleptic leadership with both students and faculty members. So there are many student-led societies and clubs across campus. And they hold different events and fundraising opportunities such as Relay for Life. And what this does is it really drives society toward a more ideal future. Looking at faculty members, they show proleptic leadership through their research. Sometimes their research can lead to minor advancements, but other times more major advancements that really drive society forward.
So a very, very prevalent and very easy example in comparison I'm going to make is MLK. And you can see his wonderful quote up there, very, very famous, an excerpt from his speech, I Have a Dream. How did MLK demonstrate proleptic leadership? Well, it all started when he was younger and he saw the unjust world he was up in, treated as a second-class citizen, segregated from others. And he more so heard it from his father about how this was unright, this was unjust, and he grew up with that mindset throughout time, right? And then he brought it to a group of people by establishing the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, a group of people dedicated to making the change they wanted to see in. Then he brought it to societal level through prototyping, protesting, communal organization, and communal creation for both poor working class and racially marginalized people. Things like the sanitation workers strike, Montgomery bus boycott, March on Washington. Things that made massive impacts in society and to an extent forced some presidents' hands on signing bills that made better change for everyone. And at the universal level, beyond just societies, globally, he's inspired so many activists to do what they do today, to try their best to exact the change they believe in.
And finally, proleptic leadership is related to a number of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. For example, SDG 10 is about reducing inequalities, a goal that proleptic leaders participate in by attacking the root cause of inequality within their communities, whether it be systemic discrimination or lack of power and resources within marginalized groups. This goes hand in hand with SDG 11, which focuses on making human settlements more resilient and sustainable. This can be interpreted as building institutions that are capable of withstanding both current and future challenges. Proleptic leaders are intent on anticipating future threats to their communities, like environmental issues and social inequalities, and by identifying these threats and implementing sustainable practices in the present, they can create spaces that everyone can thrive in both now and for many years to come. And finally, we have SDG 16, which emphasizes promoting peace, justice, and strong institutions, which, as previously mentioned, are all values that are also integral to proleptic leadership.
All right, so I'll just put you through. This was the original poster we made at the You Will Discover conference. We just put you through a quick summary of what we had discussed back then. Link, well, a QR code you can scan for our references, a reflection, and a little survey on what you learned and what. Thank you. So what surprised me the most about this research was, well, us in general, I think, when we were going through it and revising and taking notes on the chapter specifically, was it's really black and white. Like, we come from like a natural science, I guess. Kinesiology, you could constitute as a natural science. And then when you bridge your way into social sciences and theories like this, you try to find a right answer, because that's what you've been conditioned to do your entire life, right up until university. And then you come to find out that there isn't a right answer, especially in things like leadership theory. There's hundreds of thousands of leadership theories. Some of them are great, some of them suck, but you can never really know that answer. So it was one thing for me to kind of put that down, trying to find the right answer, and just try to find what made the most sense to me in the context.